Welcome to this deep dive. We're going to be exploring something pretty unique, I think, how philosophy can actually help you become a better trader.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've got some interesting sources here. The Quiet Trader by Atanas Matov is one,
Okay.
and we've got some others focusing on trading psychology, patience, and mindset.
Right.
But what's really fascinating is this idea of applying philosophies from Nietzsche, Kant, and Schopenhauer to trading. Have you
Intrigued.
ever considered that angle before?
I mean, it's not something you hear every day, right?
Right.
But I guess when you think about it, trading is as much a mental game as it is about, numbers and charts.
Right.
So who better to learn about the human mind than philosophers? They've been wrestling with these ideas for centuries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's start with this idea of the quiet trader that Matov talks about in his book.
Okay.
He seems to be saying that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to profitable trading.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Matov really emphasizes that it's not about finding some secret formula. Right.
Or following the loudest voice in the room.
Uh-huh.
It's about cultivating the right qualities within yourself.
Okay.
Discipline, persistence, and a willingness to learn from unexpected places like philosophy.
And he tells this great story about a DAX trader he met in London. This guy was, just trading massive amounts every day.
Oh.
But he was incredibly quiet and unassuming.
Huh.
You would never pick him out as a high roller.
It's funny how I guess outward confidence doesn't always equal skill, does it?
Yeah.
It's like those social media traders.
Right.
They make a lot of noise, but may not actually have the results.
Yeah.
The real masters are often the ones working quietly behind the scenes,
Yeah.
focusing on their process,
Right.
That reminds me of something you might have experienced. Have you ever been influenced by a trader's flashy persona, only to be disappointed later?
Oh, absolutely. It's so easy to get caught up in the hype,
Yeah.
especially when you're starting out.
Right?
Yeah. But that's where I guess Matov's emphasis on inner qualities comes in.
So how does he tie philosophy into this?
Well, he focuses on Nietzsche, Kant, and Schopenhauer.
Okay.
And before you think this is getting too academic, remember it's about extracting the core principles,
Yeah.
that can make you a better trader.
Okay.
For example, Nietzsche, he talked about the subjective nature of truth.
Uh-huh.
He famously said, there are many kinds of eyes, and consequently, there are many kinds of truths, and consequently, there is not truth.
Wow.
What do you think that means in the context of trading?
Well, it makes me think that there's no single, quote, right way to trade.
Yeah.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Yeah,
Right?
typically.
It's about finding your own approach, your own, quote, truth in the market.
Exactly. Understanding your own strengths and weaknesses, your risk tolerance,
Right.
and developing a strategy that aligns with your individual goals.
Yeah.
There is no holy grail in trading.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So then there's Kant, who is all about reason and critical thinking.
Oh, and how crucial is that in trading?
Yeah.
Just think about all the times you might have made an impulsive decision based on emotion,
Oh, all the time.
or followed the crowd without really thinking it through.
Yep.
Kant would say, hold on, let's analyze this. What are the facts? What are the potential risks and rewards?
Right.
Am I letting my biases cloud my judgment?
Yeah. It's like having that little voice in your head saying, don't just jump in because everyone else is.
Yes.
To take a step back and think critically.
Yeah.
That's so important, especially when, FOMO starts creeping in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we have Schopenhauer, who explored the concepts of will and desire,
Right.
which are incredibly powerful forces in trading, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I mean, fear and greed drive so many of our decisions in the market.
Right.
So how do you think Schopenhauer's ideas can help us manage those emotions?
Well, Schopenhauer, he believed that understanding and controlling our desires was key to achieving inner peace.
Okay.
Now, it's not about suppressing our emotions entirely, but being aware of them and not letting them dictate our actions.
Uh-huh.
So in trading, this translates to having a plan, sticking to it, and not getting swayed by every market fluctuation or news headline. Have you ever noticed how your emotions impact your trading?
Oh, all the time. It's like when you see a stock going up and you get that, rush of excitement, that fear of missing out,
Yeah.
and you buy in without really thinking it through.
Yeah.
Or the opposite when a trade goes against you and you panic and sell at the worst possible time.
Oh, yeah. Classic examples of our emotions kind of hijacking our rational decision-making.
Right.
And that's where the ideas from these philosophers can really help.
Yeah.
They provide a framework for understanding our own minds, our motivations, and how to cultivate that all-important sense of discipline and control.
It's almost like philosophy can act as a sort of mental training ground for traders.
Absolutely.
So we've got this philosophical foundation, but what about the more practical aspects of trading psychology and mindset? What insights can we glean from our other sources, like the psychology of trading and how to develop a winning trading mindset?
Well, a lot of them echo Matov's emphasis on the importance of controlling emotions,
Okay.
but they also delve deeper into specific techniques for managing fear, greed, and other emotional pitfalls that traders face.
One thing that really resonated with me was this idea of patience as a key trading skill.
Yes.
It's so counterintuitive in today's, fast-paced world,
Yeah.
but all these sources seem to agree that patience is crucial for long-term success in the market.
Right. It's like that classic marshmallow test, they did with kids.
Oh, yeah.
The ones who could delay gratification and wait for 2 marshmallows.
Right.
Instead of taking one right away, they ended up having more success later in life.
Yeah.
Trading is kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's about resisting that urge to jump in and out of trades constantly.
Right.
And instead waiting for the right opportunities to present themselves.
And there's that cautionary tale of Isaac Newton, who, despite being a brilliant scientist, lost a fortune in the South Sea bubble.
Oh.
He got caught up in the hype and didn't exercise patience.
Right.
It's a stark reminder that even the smartest people can fall prey to emotional decision-making in trading.
That's true.
But it's not just about avoiding losses, right?
Right.
These sources also talk about embracing them.
Exactly. Successful traders, they don't fear losses. They see them as an inevitable part of the game. And even as valuable learning opportunities. Remember Matov's concept of investment in loss?
Yes.
It's about understanding that sometimes taking a small loss
Right.
can prevent a much larger one down the line.
Okay.
It's about having the discipline to cut your losses early and not letting your ego get in the way.
It's about focusing on the long game, not getting hung up on every single trade.
Exactly.
So Matov also talks about the importance of knowing the size of your stomach, not being tempted by, quote, fruit that is too sweet. And the 7/8 of a trade representing the importance of controlling risk and not letting greed take over.
Right.
Can you explain those concepts a bit further?
Sure. Matov uses really vivid language to illustrate his points, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Knowing the size of your stomach is all about understanding your risk tolerance.
Okay,
How much are you comfortable losing on any given trade?
right.
You wouldn't stuff yourself at a buffet until you were sick, would you?
No.
It's the same with trading. Don't take on more risk than you can handle emotionally and financially.
Okay.
And the, quote, fruit that is too sweet.
Yeah,
That's about being wary of opportunities that seem too good to be true.
right.
Remember, if something sounds too easy or promises quick riches, it probably is.
Right.
There's no shortcut to success in trading.
Yeah.
It takes hard work, dedication, and a willingness to learn and grow.
Okay. And the 7/8 of a trade, what did he mean by that?
That's a fascinating concept. Matov argues that the most important part of a trade isn't the entry or even the exit, but the ongoing management of risk throughout the trade's life cycle.
Okay.
Those are the, quote, 7/8 that determine your ultimate success or failure.
It's about having the discipline to protect your capital,
Right.
even if it means sacrificing potential profits.
Exactly. And that ties back to everything we've been discussing. Controlling emotions,
Right.
being patient, and having a well-defined risk management plan.
It sounds like these are all interconnected pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah.
So we've covered the quiet trader concept, the philosophies of Nietzsche, Kant, and Schopenhauer, and some key insights from trading psychology sources.
Right.
But there's one more big theme that keeps popping up: contrary thinking.
Yeah.
Where does that fit into all of this?
It's about going against the herd, isn't it?
You mean not just following the crowd?
Yeah.
But how do you know when to do that? It seems risky.
It is risky. And it's certainly not about being contrarian just for the sake of it. It's about thinking independently, critically, questioning assumptions,
Yeah.
and being willing to see things that others might miss.
Okay.
Matov has this great anecdote about R.G. Dunn and Company.
Okay.
They published this overly optimistic market prediction right before a massive crash.
Wow.
They got caught up in the prevailing sentiment and ignored any warning signs.
That sound familiar at all?
Totally.
It's like when everyone is talking about a particular stock or asset class,
Yeah.
and you feel like you're missing out if you don't jump on board.
Right.
But then often, that's when the bubble bursts.
Precisely. And Matov connects this to something he calls lowballing.
Okay.
It's about resisting those manipulative tactics that are so common in trading, whether it's from analysts, media pundits, or even other traders trying to pump up a stock they're holding.
Okay.
It's about staying grounded and doing your own research.
So contrary thinking is about questioning the status quo, thinking for yourself, not getting swayed by hype or pressure.
Yeah.
But it's also about having the courage to go against the grain, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even when it feels uncomfortable.
It takes a certain level of confidence and conviction to stand apart from the crowd, especially when everyone else seems to be making money doing the opposite.
Right.
That's where that philosophical foundation we talked about earlier comes in.
Yeah.
You know, the ideas of Nietzsche, Kant, and Schopenhauer, they can help you develop that mental fortitude and independence of thought.
It reminds me of the Milgram experiment,
Oh, yeah.
where participants were willing to administer what they believed were painful electric shocks simply because an authority figure told them to.
Right.
It's terrifying how susceptible we are to following authority, even when it goes against our better judgment.
It is.
And I can see how that applies to trading, too.
Absolutely. We can get so caught up in what the so-called experts are saying that we forget to think for ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's where contrary thinking comes in.
Right.
It's about having the courage to question those expert opinions, to challenge the conventional wisdom, and to trust your own analysis and instincts. Remember, the market doesn't always reward conformity.
So we've got controlling emotions, being patient, and thinking contrarily.
Right.
It seems like all these concepts feed into what our sources say is the cornerstone of successful trading.
Yeah.
Risk management and discipline.
Absolutely.
How do those fit into this bigger picture?
Well, think of risk management as the foundation upon which you build your entire trading approach.
Okay.
It's about protecting your capital
Uh-huh.
and ensuring that you can stay in the game even when you inevitably make mistakes.
And all of our sources, they really hammer this point home.
They do.
They talk about determining your risk tolerance using stop-loss orders.
Yeah.
And of course, never risking more than you can afford to lose.
Right.
It's about having those guardrails in place to prevent those emotional decisions we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. Remember what Matov said about knowing the size of your stomach.
Right.
That applies to risk management as well.
Okay.
Don't bite off more than you can chew. Only take trades that fit within your predetermined risk parameters.
Right.
Don't let a winning streak or a fear of missing out make you deviate from your plan.
It's like having a set of rules that you follow no matter what,
Yeah.
even when your emotions are telling you to do something else.
Yeah.
Is that what they mean by discipline?
Precisely. Discipline is about executing your trading plan consistently.
Okay.
Even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when you're doubting yourself,
Yeah.
it's about sticking to your process
Yeah.
and not letting your emotions drive your decisions.
That sounds really challenging,
It is.
especially when the market is volatile and your portfolio's on the line.
It is challenging.
Yeah.
But that's where all these concepts we've been discussing come together.
Okay.
The philosophical ideas help you develop the mental fortitude and clarity to think independently.
Right.
The insights from trading psychology give you concrete techniques for managing emotions and staying disciplined. And contrary thinking helps you avoid the pitfalls of following the crowd.
It sounds like Matov's books, The Quiet Trader, How Philosophy Can Make You a Better Trader,
Yeah.
and The Quiet Trader,
Yeah.
240 Meditations for Consistent Profits,
Yeah.
along with these other sources that we've mentioned,
Yeah.
offer a pretty comprehensive guide to developing these qualities.
They do. And what's fascinating is how Matov weaves these concepts together throughout his work.
Right.
He uses anecdotes, historical examples, philosophical insights, and practical advice
Yeah.
to create a roadmap for becoming a more successful
Uh-huh.
and perhaps more importantly, a more well-rounded trader.
One thing that really stood out to me was how he structured his book, The Quiet Trader. 240 meditations for consistent profits.
Yeah.
It's like a daily dose of trading wisdom, with each meditation offering a specific insight or strategy.
It's a brilliant approach, isn't it?
Yeah.
It encourages you to engage with these concepts on a daily basis,
Yeah.
making them part of your trading routine and mindset.
So, for example, in the January section, he focuses on the concept of investment and loss.
Yeah.
He tells this story of two people filming a lion.
Oh, yeah.
And when the lion spots them, one starts putting on running shoes.
Oh, wow.
And his colleague says, "Those won't help you outrun a lion."
Yeah.
And the man replies, "I don't need to outrun the lion. I just need to outrun you."
It's a great analogy.
How does that relate to trading?
It's a great analogy, isn't it?
Yeah.
What Matov is saying is that in trading, it's not about avoiding losses altogether.
Okay.
That's impossible.
Right.
It's about managing them effectively
Okay.
and making sure that you're not the one left holding the bag when things go south.
So it's not about being right all the time,
Yeah,
but about minimizing your losses when you're wrong.
exactly. And that ties back to having a solid risk management plan and the discipline to stick to it, even when it's painful.
It's about accepting that losses are part of the game
Yes.
and not letting them derail your overall strategy.
Right. And Matov connects this to the importance of having a long-term perspective in trading.
Okay.
He talks about the need to trade with the end in mind.
Focusing on building sustainable wealth over time rather than chasing quick profits.
It's like that famous quote from Warren Buffett.
Yes.
Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago.
Exactly. Trading is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
And those who can weather the storms and stay focused on their long-term goals are the ones who ultimately succeed. Now, in the February section, he talks about setting those long-term goals.
Yeah.
And he has this, I should say this.
Go ahead.
He has this rather humorous anecdote about
Okay.
bull testicles
Oh, yeah.
being served as a delicacy in different cultures.
Yes. It's called On Bull Testicles and Trading Perceptions, right?
Yes.
It's a great example of how our perceptions are often shaped by our cultural background
Yeah.
or our personal experiences.
Yeah.
And those preconceived notions can cloud our judgment,
Especially in trading.
particularly in trading, yeah.
He seems to be saying that we need to be aware of our biases and be open to new ways of thinking, even if they challenge our existing beliefs.
Right. He draws a parallel to Copernicus,
Okay.
who revolutionized astronomy by proposing that the Earth revolves around the sun,
Right.
not the other way around. It was
Right.
a radical idea at the time, but it turned out to be correct.
Yeah.
Similarly, in trading, we need to be willing to shift our perspective and see things from a different angle.
So it's about challenging our assumptions,
Mm-hmm.
being open to new information, even if it's uncomfortable,
Right.
or contradicts what we thought we knew.
Exactly. And that ties back to contrary thinking, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
about having the courage to question the conventional wisdom
Right.
and form your own conclusions based on evidence and analysis.
It sounds like Matov is encouraging us to be independent thinkers, not just followers.
He is. And he also emphasizes the importance of hard work and persistence in achieving our long-term trading goals. He compares good traders to camels, known for their endurance and ability to thrive in challenging environments.
He even suggests that few traders will survive climate change,
Right.
meaning that only those who are adaptable and willing to evolve will thrive in the ever-changing market landscape.
That's such a powerful image, isn't it?
Yeah.
The market is constantly evolving, and those who can't adapt will be left behind.
Right.
It's like Darwin's theory of evolution.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest.
So it's not just about having a good trading strategy,
Yeah.
but also about having the right mindset
Yeah,
and the resilience to adapt to changing conditions.
exactly. And that brings us back to those core qualities we talked about earlier. Discipline, persistence, and a willingness to learn and grow.
Now, in the April section, he dives into contrary thinking,
Okay.
and he talks about Cartesian doubt in trading,
Yes.
encouraging traders to basically question everything.
Question everything, yeah.
He uses some really evocative imagery, like
Okay.
water will not always quench your thirst.
Yeah, interesting.
He wants us to recognize that what worked in the past might not work in the future.
Right. And he reminds us that just like the darker the night, the brighter the stars. It's often during times of uncertainty that the greatest opportunities emerge.
Yeah.
Those who can see through the fear and panic are often the ones who come out ahead.
It's about having the courage to go against the crowd and the vision to see what others miss.
Exactly. And Matov also emphasizes the importance of simplicity in trading.
Okay.
He argues that complex systems and strategies can actually hinder our success.
Really?
He even shares an email from a student
Okay.
who overcomplicated his trading and ended up losing money.
Oh, wow.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most effective approach is the simplest one.
Right.
It's about focusing on the fundamentals
Right.
and not getting bogged down in unnecessary complexity.
It's about having the discipline to stick to a simple plan, even when you're tempted to overthink things
Absolutely.
or chase every shiny object that comes along.
Right.
So now, in the July section, he shifts his focus to the importance of trading discipline. And he uses this, I don't know if you're familiar with this,
So go on.
this image of the, quote, Dora knot.
Oh, Okay.
It's this intricate knot that symbolizes the interconnectedness of all things.
That's a beautiful metaphor, isn't it?
Yeah, and Matov connects this to the idea that every trading decision has consequences,
Yeah.
and we need to be mindful of the ripple effects of our actions.
It's like that butterfly effect idea, right?
Right, where a small change in one place can have a massive impact somewhere else.
Exactly.
So he emphasizes the importance of persistence and self-belief, even when faced with setbacks.
Yeah.
And he reminds us that successful trading is often about doing the opposite of what the majority of traders are doing.
That's true.
He challenges this notion of a single trading rule,
Mm-hmm.
and he argues that successful traders have a flexible methodology,
Okay.
that they adapt to changing market conditions.
It makes sense.
He even suggests that there is no truth in trading,
Mm.
meaning that there's no one right way to approach the market.
It's about finding what works for you and being willing to constantly refine your approach.
It's about being adaptable, evolving as the market changes.
Precisely. And that leads us to one of his most intriguing ideas, the 7/8 of a trade.
Right, which we touched on earlier.
This concept focuses on the importance of managing risk.
He suggests that the most crucial part of a trade is not the entry
Right.
or even the exit,
Yeah.
but rather the ongoing management of risk throughout the trade's life cycle.
Exactly. It's about having the discipline to protect your capital, even if it means sacrificing potential profits.
And he connects this to the idea of knowing the size of your stomach, meaning that we should only take on as much risk as we can comfortably handle.
He cautions against being tempted by trades that are too sweet,
Right.
meaning that we should be wary of opportunities that seem too good to be true.
So it's about having a clear understanding of your risk tolerance and not letting greed or fear cloud your judgment.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to the importance of discipline and self-awareness.
It sounds like Matov is advocating for a balanced approach to trading,
He is.
one that combines technical skill with emotional intelligence and a deep understanding of oneself.
He is.
Yeah.
And that's what makes his work so valuable. It's not just teaching you how to trade, but how to become a better trader and a better person in the process.
Now, in the October section, he turns his attention to the process of turning weaknesses into strengths.
Okay.
And he highlights the importance of forward thinking.
Uh-huh.
You know how successful traders are always looking ahead, anticipating potential challenges and opportunities.
Right.
He contrasts good trading strategies with bad ones,
Yeah.
emphasizing the need for clarity, simplicity, and adaptability.
Makes sense.
He even draws a parallel between the laws of gravity and the predictability of market movements.
Interesting.
He suggests that just as we can't defy gravity,
Yeah.
we can't expect to perfectly predict the market.
It's about understanding the underlying forces that drive market behavior and making informed decisions based on probability and risk assessment.
And he encourages us to embrace our weaknesses, seeing them as opportunities for growth and self-improvement.
I like that.
He suggests that, quote, weak eyes can actually be a strength in trading,
Huh.
as they force us to focus on the essentials and avoid getting bogged down in unnecessary details.
It's about having a clear vision of what's important and not letting distractions cloud our judgment.
Exactly. And he provides practical advice on developing a daily trading plan,
Okay.
outlining clear goals, strategies, and contingency plans.
Yeah.
He emphasizes the importance of being prepared for all eventualities and having the discipline to stick to our plan, even when things get tough.
He also talks about the importance of seeking guidance from experienced traders,
Huh.
but ultimately taking responsibility for our own decisions.
It's about being accountable for our choices and learning from our mistakes.
And he cautions against rushing into trades,
Yeah.
reminding us that patience is often the key to success. He offers specific advice on how to approach entries and exits, always emphasizing the need to protect capital and manage risk effectively.
It sounds like Matov is giving us a comprehensive toolkit for navigating the complexities of the market
He is.
and achieving long-term success.
He is. And what's so inspiring is his belief that trading can be a journey of self-discovery,
Right.
a path to not only financial success, but also personal growth and fulfillment.
It seems like we've covered so much already,
We have.
from the importance of controlling emotions and thinking contrarily
Right?
to the power of risk management and discipline.
Yeah.
But there's something else that Matov keeps coming back to, this idea that trading is about more than just profits and losses.
Right.
It's about self-mastery
Yeah.
and personal growth. Do you get that sense from his book, The Quiet Trader? A journey to self-discovery.
Absolutely. That's what makes Matov's work so unique.
Yeah.
He sees trading as a path to not only financial success,
Okay.
but also self-discovery and personal fulfillment. It's like he's saying that the market can be a mirror, reflecting your own strengths and weaknesses, you know?
That's such an interesting concept. So, in a way, becoming a better trader is almost like becoming a better version of yourself.
Exactly. It's about developing those qualities
Yeah.
that will serve you, well, not just in trading, but
Right.
in all aspects of life.
Mhm.
Discipline, patience, resilience,
Mhm.
critical thinking.
Now, in the November section, he introduces this idea that nobody believes in true theories.
Interesting.
And he uses this analogy of a cyclist
Okay.
pulling a trailer, seemingly effortlessly.
Okay.
But here's the catch. The trailer has a hidden engine.
Oh, wow.
So it's a great way to illustrate how things aren't always what they seem, right?
Right.
We often get caught up in, superficial explanations, overlooking the deeper underlying forces at play.
Right.
So we need to be skeptical, dig deeper,
Yeah.
not just accept things at face value,
Right.
but how does that apply to trading?
Well, think about all the market theories and predictions out there.
Yeah.
How many of them actually come true?
Not many.
Right.
Right.
The market is complex and constantly evolving.
Right.
There's no magic formula or crystal ball.
Yeah.
So what Matov is saying is that we need to be critical thinkers, question our assumptions,
Uh-huh.
look for evidence to support or refute those theories.
It's about being analytical,
Yeah.
not just blindly following someone else's ideas.
Right. And it's about understanding that even the most successful traders
Yeah.
are wrong sometimes.
Right.
No one has a perfect track record.
That makes you think about another point he makes about winning streaks.
Okay.
He says they can be both a blessing and a curse.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah.
On the one hand, a winning streak can boost your confidence,
Right.
makes you feel invincible.
Right.
But on the other hand,
Yeah.
it can lead to complacency and overconfidence, which can be dangerous in trading.
It's like that saying, pride comes before the fall.
Exactly. Matov reminds us that even after 1,000 winning trades, there's no guarantee that the next one will be profitable.
The market is always humbling us.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like it's constantly testing us,
Yeah.
making sure we don't get too comfortable or overconfident.
And that's why it's so important to stay grounded,
Yeah,
manage your risk,
absolutely.
and never stop learning.
Yeah,
So even when things are going well,
yeah,
we need to stay vigilant
Right.
and disciplined.
absolutely. And that's where all these concepts we've been discussing come together. Controlling emotions,
Right.
thinking contrarily, managing risk,
Uh-huh.
and having the discipline to stick to your plan,
Yeah.
even when you're tempted to deviate.
It sounds like successful trading is as much about self-mastery as it is about technical skills.
It is. And that's what Matov emphasizes in these final sections.
Okay.
He uses stories and philosophical concepts to illustrate these important trading lessons.
So, for example, he draws on Plato's allegory of the cave,
Oh, yeah.
where prisoners mistook shadows for reality.
It's such a powerful metaphor for how we perceive the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Matov connects it to trading by saying that novice traders often see the market at face value
Uh-huh.
without understanding the deeper forces at work.
So they're like those prisoners in the cave,
Right.
mistaking the shadows for the real thing.
Exactly. And Matov suggests that it takes experience, self-reflection,
Yeah.
and a willingness to question our assumptions,
Yeah.
to see beyond the surface and grasp the true nature of trading.
It's about developing that deeper level of understanding
Yeah.
and insight
Right.
that allows you to make better decisions.
Right. And it's about being willing to challenge your own beliefs
Yeah.
and be open to new ways of thinking.
Matov also shares insights from Balthasar Gracian's The Oracle.
Oh, yeah.
It's a book full of practical wisdom
Yeah.
on how to navigate the complexities of human behavior.
Yes. And Matov highlights Gracian's emphasis on self-knowledge,
Right.
prudence, and the importance of perception in shaping our reality.
He even draws parallels between Gracian's ideas and the world of trading,
Yeah.
reminding us that things don't pass for what they are, but for what they seem.
It's a great reminder that our perceptions can be skewed by our biases and emotions.
Yeah.
And in trading, that can lead to costly mistakes.
So we need to be aware of how our perceptions can influence our trading decisions.
Yes,
And strive for objectivity.
exactly. And that's where self-awareness and emotional intelligence come in.
Now, towards the end, Matov explores this interesting concept of a trading efficiency formula,
Okay.
emphasizing the importance of social connections and collaboration.
That's an aspect of trading that often gets overlooked, isn't it?
It does.
We tend to think of it as a solitary pursuit.
Right.
But Matov argues that our relationships can have a significant impact
Uh,
on our trading performance.
he cites studies showing how our social connections can influence our behaviors, even our trading decisions. He suggests that surrounding ourselves with supportive and like-minded individuals can enhance our trading performance.
It's like having a network of people
Yeah.
who understand the challenges and rewards of trading
Right.
and can offer encouragement and accountability.
It's not just about individual self-mastery,
Right.
but also about building a community of like-minded traders
Yeah,
who can help each other grow and succeed.
absolutely. That's a powerful message, isn't it? Trading doesn't have to be a lonely endeavor. It can be a collaborative and supportive journey.
So after this deep dive into Matov's work and all these other insightful sources, what's the key takeaway for our listeners? What should they be thinking about as they approach their own trading?
I think, as Matov reminds us, trading is ultimately a reflection of ourselves.
Mhm.
Our successes and failures are a result of our choices, our mindset, and our ability to manage our emotions and our risk.
Mm.
And by applying philosophical concepts, I think we can develop a deeper understanding of ourselves, our biases, and the forces that drive market behavior. We can cultivate the qualities of a quiet trader: discipline, patience, critical thinking, and a willingness to challenge the status quo.
And most importantly,
And most importantly, we can embrace the journey of self-discovery that trading offers, using it as a path to not only financial success,
right,
but also personal growth and fulfillment.
that's a great way to sum it up. It's not just about making money, it's about becoming a better version of yourself.
Exactly. And if you can do that, the financial rewards will often follow.
Absolutely. And here's a final thought to leave our listeners with. If, as Matov suggests, the most successful traders are often the quietest ones, could it be that the key to mastering the market lies in first mastering ourselves?
That's a powerful question to ponder, isn't it? It suggests that the real journey in trading is an inward one, a journey of self-discovery and self-mastery.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of trading and philosophy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We hope you found it insightful and inspiring. Until next time, happy trading.